I think the biggest thing that I've learned from this class is that you cannot live a brave life without disappointing some people, which was by Oprah Winfrey. I truly believe that this quote will stick with me for the rest of my life because I used to feel like I always had to please people. And whether it was my mom, my brother, my cousin, my grandmother, my friends, like I always felt like I had to do what's best for them, even though it doesn't, even though it meant like it wasn't best for me. I remember one time in high school, I got accepted to USF and I had a nice scholarship and I had financial aid on top of that. But because it wasn't what's best for my brother and my mom, I decided not to go. So instead, I went to a local school, which didn't work out for me in the end. And then, like, another example would be like, I have a friend who she recently had a baby, and I'm the godmother of the baby. And instead of, like, resting and doing my homework and trying to get my life together, I was so focused on helping her that like I neglected my duties. Like I was barely sleeping, I was always babysitting. I would legit, like, any dollar, any money that I had, I would just give to the baby just because I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And basically I'm always putting people before myself, and in the end it just never benefits me in the long run. And I learned that compassionate people are people with boundaries, so I have to set boundaries in order for people not to walk all over me. And I also learned that I have to create balance in my life. I'm usually working or at school all the time, and there's never enough like playtime for me to like stop and like smell the roses or enjoy life. So I'm also trying to fit that in, and it's something that I realize like I need to do. Like I need to take time to like relax and like enjoy life before I get too old to enjoy it. And I remember growing up, I was taught that you should never settle for anything. But in this class, it taught me that sometimes what you want isn't necessarily going to make you happy. So, like, sometimes life throws you curveballs that bring you more happiness than what you actually wanted. Which brings to me to one of the quotes that we learned in class by Daniel Gilbert, which says, natural happiness is what we get when we get what we want, and synthetic happiness is what we make when we don't get what we want. And in our society, we have a strong belief that synthetic happiness is of an inferior kind, which I feel like is true. Like they always tell you, like don't settle, like you need to succeed and stuff like that. But sometimes, like what you don't get in the end is what you never needed to begin with. And because of this class, I've gotten the courage to move out of my grandmother's house. And even though my family's upset about that, they want me to stay in the house till I get married. Um, Traditionally, in a Haitian household, the woman stays in the parents' house until they get married, and then they go off to live their life with their husbands. So they're really upset, but like I'm setting my boundaries. I'm now doing what makes me happy. Getting out of a toxic environment so that I can move forward with my life and become a little bit more independent. And I'm starting to feel kind of free. Like I'm feeling happier now that I've taken this class.